What up? It's B-Cide here. You know, when I was 20 years old, I thought I knew exactly what I was building. I was building a music career. The plan seemed pretty simple: make albums, do shows, go on tour, get a record deal or a distribution deal, start doing bigger shows, make bigger albums, reach more people, and just keep on building from there. That's what I thought my life was going to be. And what I didn't realize from being an independent artist was going to force me to learn how to do damn near everything myself. I already knew how to build websites, but then I needed artwork, so I learned Photoshop. Then Photoshop turned into learning about dye lines, cut lines, bleeds, and actually preparing the artwork to be professionally printed. Then somebody had to get the flyers printed. Somebody had to distribute them. Somebody had to keep track of the contacts. Somebody had to call venues. Somebody had to book those shows. Somebody had to record the music. Somebody had to mix it. Somebody had to shoot the pictures. Somebody had to make the videos themselves. Somebody had to sell the CDs. And most of the time, that somebody was, guess what? Yours truly. That somebody was me. Not because I had some brilliant business plan. I just didn't have the money to have somebody else do it. So if I needed something to get done, I learned how the fuck to do that. And eventually, I realized some of those skills had real value outside of my own music. Now, I could make graphics for other artists. I could record other artists. I can mix their music. I can actually produce the CDs themselves. Take their pictures, build their websites, help them put on shows. And by around 2007 or 2008, I had gotten to the point where all of those skills I'd learned because of music, could make me as much money as I was making working at Subway. So I decided to quit. And for the first time, I was actually making a living from the world that I had built around music. And then MS happened. And I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011. And eventually, the plan for my life didn't really work anymore. Touring became harder, performing became harder. My body started failing me. My body started failing me, and so did my words. And for a long time, I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do, seriously. I went through a really dark depression, and because when you've spent your entire life building towards something and suddenly you're not physically capable of doing it the way that you had planned, you start wondering, what is all this for? And I thought I was building a music career. And the career, and now, the career I'd spent years building depended on a body that wasn't cooperating with me anymore. But here's what I couldn't see at the time: none of those years were wasted. None of those skills were wasted. Even the things that didn't seem connected, they were connected. And for years, I had been telling stories through songs. Then, during some of my hardest years of my life, I started putting those thoughts into my phone. Years later, I looked at those notes and realized there's a book here. And so I did what I always do, and I figured out what I needed to do, and I did it. And eventually, Mile in My Shoes became real. And then came TikTok. When I first started going live, I thought I was going on there as a rapper to promote my music. But something funny happened. People started sticking around for the stories, the conversations, the personality, the community. and it reminded me of something from years ago. You know, me and Shiesty, we used to sit in front of an old VHS-C video camera and talk like there were people watching us. There wasn't an audience. No, nobody was watching us. We were basically just entertaining ourselves, talking to the camera, being like, "Yo, what up, man? How's it going? This Shiesty and B-Cide." And you know, decades later, I'm almost doing that exact same thing, except now there's actually people watching. And you know, somewhere along the way, I realized that the thing I'd been building all these years was much bigger than the job title that I had given myself. You know, if you'd asked me 20 years ago what I did, boom, it's easy. I'm a rapper. Ask me today. I'm still a rapper. Absolutely. But I'm also an author, a designer, an engineer, a businessman, a storyteller, an entertainer. You know, I've worn so many different hats that I don't even know if there's one word that can describe what I do anymore. It's really an entire ecosystem. And every piece of it started with music, honest to God. You know, sometimes I joked that I thought music was going to give me a career. And what it really gave me was agita. And trust me, it definitely gave me plenty of that too. But the truth is, music gave me almost every skill that I use today. It taught me how to create, how to communicate, how to sell, how to adapt, how to tell a story, how to figure shit out when nobody else was there to do it for me. And maybe most importantly, you know, it taught me how to keep creating when the original plan completely fell apart. I used to think I was building a music career. I didn't realize music was teaching me how to build everything else. I'm still building. Stay strong. Stay wicked. It's B-Side. Peace out.